morning. I'm Ashley Apparocho, and you're watching Coffee with Catechist. Today, joining me is Nicholai from Fatima Parish. Nicholai, would you be able to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Nicholai Pryce. I've been a catechist for over 6 years. I joined the catechism teaching ministry when the former Bishop Singh, challenged my then confirmation class to participate in the ministry. I was also a part of the altar servers at that time, and I felt a calling to teach as a teaching aid and assistant at that time. I've never stopped since.
When you got the call to become a catechist, did any of your fellow classmates in your confirmation class join you as well?
Yes, we had, I think it was, 3 of us. And of the 3, 2 have migrated. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
But they're still much involved. Whenever we call, they would still help me as much as they can.
Would you say that the times have changed since the time of Bishop Singh to the time now in the involvement of the youth in the parish?
I would say yes, it has changed. From the time from Bishop Singh, which is my era, you would say, to Bishop Francis's era, it has changed in terms of young people answering the calls. I think it's more how you answer that call, I should say. Things have changed, times have changed, and I think the Catholic community needs to change with it. In saying that, it's how we have the young people, attract the young people, and keep them involved in the church. I think that is one of the biggest challenge to our catechetical program, especially for teachers of the pre-confirmation and the confirmation classes, is to understand what is happening out there in society, in wider society, to young people, and then bringing it home to the church. How do we fill that gap? I think that is our biggest challenge now than before.
So you mentioned on the attractiveness of the catechetical program. Do you think that the catechetical program currently is attractive to young people? And if not, how do you see it becoming more attractive?
Well, actually, I think that's a very...
It's okay, please be honest.
That's a tricky question. For me, I would say, recently, only today, I asked my class, because we were teaching on Lent, and I asked them how can I make the class more fun for you? And the answers I got, it shocked me. They wanted technology to be involved, the use of iPods and creating games, more fun scenarios. These are things that I would say my era, I'll have to come back to my era, we didn't have that. And I think the catechetical program will have to now take those concerns, because we're now moving to a technological phase. And how can we incorporate technology into teaching? I think that is where we need to. And if you look at the young people today, they're more into technology than ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sooner or later, these interviews will be done over the computer.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
a Skype interview or
Skype interview.
Something to that
before
effect.
we would have never thought of that. So I think, yes, we have to think, come back to the question, we have to look at what we have and how to better use it.
So yes, I do agree that we should use more technology in catechetics. Do you think that the material needs to be revamped as well, or do you think that the material is still valid and up to date for the young people today?
It needs to be tweaked.
In what way?
Like I said, we have to move away from the era of classroom teaching. when you give a young person a book and say, this is what we're going to be doing today, the society today in Guyana, it's more of lessons, because if you see in Guyana a student having to write 6 or 7 subjects at CXC and then actually coming to church on Sunday and have to sit in a class and have to study a book, it's the same routine. And for me, and it's my philosophy, that catechism should be different. Catechism should not have that classroom setting. It should be fun. This is, for me, the best way to learn is when something is fun. If something is being lectured to me, I'm not going to respond. If I interact and I play or something, you remember those things. So in a way, it's there, but I think the materials are for the teachers. We need to now find a way in having the actual material in a more interactive way, bringing in technology. I think that is the way we're going to keep and grow the catechism.
How do you think the diocese could further support catechists here in Georgetown?
Well, I think that is going to have to be a lot of work, you know. If we're going to go and incorporate technology into our teaching, it's going to have to be one commitment on the part of everyone involved, from senior to the junior teacher. It's going to have to be done over a period of time, because we have to look at the feasibility of actually doing something like this. But generally, it's going to be a lot of work. I don't see it happening overnight, like anything, but I see it taking, but we will get there sometime, but we will get there.
And so what has been your biggest struggle or obstacle thus far in the 6 years that you've been teaching catechism as a catechist?
My biggest struggle is actually having, like I said, it changes from every year, because every year you have new kids and to adapt, and every year young people coming into the church and coming in, they have different needs, how their learning capacity. So it's a little challenging sometimes to actually at the beginning of a class to get to know how to teach and how these children would actually learn from you. So that's my biggest challenge. But as the year continues, it goes on, then you find that you get a better understanding of what they like and how they can learn. So I wouldn't say it's a challenge to that extent of the meaning of a challenge, but it's just working with your kids to understand them. So,
would you say that you have adequate resources here at Fatima?
I don't think any parish can say that they have adequate resources.
No?
We always need.
In what way?
Like I said, technology.
So just technology?
In terms of, we have books. We have books. We have workshops being done. We have a very good coordinator in Jackie. She's always on the ball. She always fills in. And you can always call her on her. And not only Jackie, but we have past catechists who are still involved in the church that you can call in any time and ask them their opinion or to come and share something. So while we may not have physical in terms of books and pens and all these things, we have human resources available.
Oh, that's very good.
So that's something that we can boast that we have, the human resources available.
And to have that knowledge base?
That's our gift. I would say that's a gift, that to have that knowledge base, as you said, to remain in the church and can be called upon at any time. It's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Coming back, one example is our Bible quiz, our annual Bible quiz. We have our parishioners who are coming up and helping the young people in studying, in questioning, and it's really amazing to see that when you are in need, the community is coming forward. to learn this, is because at the end of the day, it's the community. It's about the community spirit.
That's beautiful. So I guess just to end things off, what has been one thing that you have learned so far as being a catechist that has enriched your faith life?
For me, learning more and doing more research for the kids, especially when they ask you questions. Sometimes you're caught off guard with some of the questions they would ask you. And when you actually go and you do a research, you learn more about the topic, about the Bible, about more recently, I will bring back to today. The kids asked me what is how cross buns came about. What was the origin of cross buns?
Yeah.
And I told them very clear, I don't know, but I'd love to thank that person, whoever came up with it. But these are things, in terms of, come back to the question, my faith life. When you prepare a lesson for a Sunday, and you start to read those scriptures, and you read in depth, and you do further, and you start to think outside of the box, what are possible questions that will come out of these young people? It will be amazed how the answers that you come up with. And it's so amazing that you can see the link. There's a link to every situation today in your life. It might not be your life, but a family member or a friend, that you see it. And the answers are right there. It's just that you have to read the Bible.
I think it's great that you touched on how as a catechist we're both like a teacher and also a student in learning more about our faith. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experiences being a catechist.